Welcome to Vietnam. Avoid these 5 travel mistakes. Xin Chau. From the bustling streets of Hanoi to the serene beauty of Ha Long Bay, Vietnam is a country that truly captivates the senses. The food, oh, the food. It's an explosion of flavor in every bite. But like any good adventure, a little preparation goes a long way. Before you dive headfirst into the magic of Vietnam, let's talk about a few common travel mistakes and how to sidestep them. That way your journey is filled with nothing but the best bowls of pho and unforgettable experiences. Ready? Let's go. Vietnam is a stunning country filled with vibrant cities, breathtaking landscapes, rich history, and delicious cuisine. But like any travel destination, there are a few mistakes that could turn your dream trip into a nightmare. So, before you pack your bags, let's dive into the top 5 mistakes you need to avoid while traveling to Vietnam. Okay friends, let's talk about the power of language. You see, while you'll find English spoken in many tourist areas, knowing a few basic Vietnamese phrases is like unlocking a secret door to deeper connections and genuine interactions. Now, I'm not saying you need to be fluent, not at all. Even a simple Xin Chau, pronounced Sin Chow for hello, or Cam On, pronounced Gammon, for thank you can work wonders. It shows respect, sparks smiles, and honestly, it just feels good to connect with locals on their terms. Trust me, those small gestures of effort can turn an ordinary encounter into something truly special. Imagine this. You're at a bustling local market surrounded by exotic fruits and fragrant herbs you've never seen before. You want to ask about a particular fruit, but you don't know the English name. Now imagine approaching the vendor with a friendly Xin Chau and a gesture towards the fruit. Instantly, a connection is made. They might not speak much English and you might not master Vietnamese grammar, but that simple greeting breaks down barriers and opens up a world of possibilities. Suddenly, you're not just a tourist pointing at things. You're someone making an effort, someone showing respect for their culture. And that, my friends, is priceless. So before you jet off to Vietnam, take some time to learn a few basic phrases. Write them down, practice them, and get ready to be amazed by how much warmer and more welcoming your experience becomes. Alright, fellow adventurers, buckle up because we're about to dive into the thrilling, sometimes chaotic world of Vietnamese traffic. Picture this. You step out onto the streets of Hanoi, and it's like a symphony of honking horns, buzzing motorbikes, and a kaleidoscope of colors whizzing by. It's an experience in itself, and trust me, it's not for the faint of heart. The key here is to embrace the flow. Don't try to fight it, just go with it. Think of it as a dance, a slightly chaotic but exhilarating dance where everyone seems to know the steps except you. But that's okay, you'll get the hang of it. The first rule of navigating Vietnamese traffic is simple. Patience, patience, patience. Take a deep breath, look both ways, actually look all ways multiple times, and walk at a steady pace. Don't make any sudden movements. The motorbikes will swerve around you. It's like a real-life game of Frogger, but instead of logs, you're dodging motorbikes. And speaking of motorbikes, if you're feeling adventurous and want to experience Vietnam like a local, renting a motorbike can be an option. But a word of caution, only experienced riders should brave the Vietnamese roads. The traffic laws can be, shall we say, flexible, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you're not comfortable on a motorbike, no worries. Taxis and ride-sharing apps are readily available and a much safer option. Just remember to negotiate the fare beforehand or make sure the meter is on. So embrace the organized chaos, be patient, and remember, when in doubt, cross the road slowly and confidently. And hey, maybe by the end of your trip, you'll be navigating those streets like a pro. Alright food lovers, this chapter is for you because we're about to unlock the delicious world of Vietnamese street food. Seriously, if there's one thing you absolutely cannot miss in Vietnam, it's the street food. It's not just about the food, it's an experience, a cultural immersion, a symphony of flavors that will tantalize your taste buds. Imagine this. You're strolling down a narrow alleyway, the air thick with the aroma of fresh herbs, sizzling garlic, and something savory you can't quite place. You see locals gathered around small plastic tables, slurping down bowls of steaming noodles or biting into crispy baguettes filled with mysterious fillings. That, my friends, is where the magic happens. From the iconic pho, a soul-warming broth with rice noodles, herbs, and your choice of meat, to banh mi, a French-inspired baguette stuffed with savory fillings like grilled pork, pickled vegetables, and cilantro, the options are endless. And the best part, it's incredibly affordable. You can easily have a feast for under $5, but where do you start? How do you find the best street food stalls? Easy. Look for the crowds. The busier the stall, the fresher the food, and the more authentic the experience. Don't be afraid to try something new, something you can't pronounce, something that looks a little different. Trust your gut, literally, and go for it. Some of my favorite street food discoveries have been the ones I knew nothing about beforehand. Oh, and don't forget to try Vietnamese coffee. Whether you like it hot or iced, with condensed milk or black, it's a caffeine kick like no other. So, ditch the fancy restaurants for a meal or two and dive headfirst into the world of Vietnamese street food. It's an adventure for your taste buds, and I promise you won't regret it. Alright, let's talk about something super important, respecting local customs and etiquette. Now, Vietnam has a rich and beautiful culture, one that values respect, harmony, and tradition. And as travelers, it's our responsibility to be mindful and respectful of those customs. Think of it this way. You're a guest in someone's home, and just like you wouldn't want someone disrespecting your home, it's important to treat Vietnam with the same courtesy. Now, I'm not talking about memorizing a whole book of etiquette rules. It's the small gestures that go a long way. For example, when you greet someone, especially someone older or in a position of authority, a slight bow of the head is a sign of respect, and when you're handing over money or gifts, use both hands. It's considered polite and shows that you're giving with respect. Now let's talk about temples and pagodas. These are sacred places of worship, so it's essential to dress modestly. That means covering your shoulders and knees. And remember to remove your shoes before entering. It's a sign of reverence and shows that you understand the sanctity of the space. Oh, and one more thing, public displays of affection are generally frowned upon in Vietnamese culture. So, keep the hugs and kisses for private moments. Remember, traveling is not just about seeing new places, it's about connecting with different cultures and expanding our understanding of the world. And by being mindful and respectful of Vietnamese customs, we can ensure that our interactions are positive and meaningful. Alright, fellow travelers, let's talk about packing, because nobody wants to be that person lugging around a giant suitcase full of clothes they never wear. And trust me, when it comes to packing for Vietnam, less is definitely more. But here's the catch. Vietnam's weather can be a bit unpredictable. You see, the country is long and skinny, stretching across different climate zones. So, while the south enjoys tropical heat year-round, the north can get surprisingly chilly in the winter months. So, what's the solution? Layers, my friends, layers! Instead of packing bulky sweaters, opt for lightweight, breathable clothes that you can easily layer up or down depending on the temperature. A light jacket or a scarf can make all the difference. And speaking of unpredictable weather, let's not forget about the rain. Vietnam has a tropical climate, which means rain is always a possibility, especially during the wet season. So, pack a lightweight raincoat or a small umbrella. Trust me, you'll thank me later. And last but not least, let's talk about shoes. You'll be doing a lot of walking, exploring ancient temples, meandering through bustling markets, so comfortable shoes are a must. Leave those fancy heels or stiff dress shoes at home. A good pair of walking shoes or sandals will be your best friend. So pack light, pack smart, and be prepared for anything Mother Nature throws your way. And remember, if you forget something, don't worry. You can find pretty much anything you need in Vietnam's bustling markets. That is 5 common mistakes to avoid while traveling to Vietnam. From embracing the language barrier and navigating the traffic symphony, to indulging in the street food scene and respecting local customs, a little preparation goes a long way in ensuring a smooth and unforgettable journey. Remember, Vietnam is a country of incredible beauty, warm hospitality, and experiences that will stay with you long after you've left. Now it's your turn to share. Which mistake do you think is most important to avoid? Let me know in the comments below. Vietnam is an incredible country with so much to offer. By avoiding these 5 common mistakes, you can ensure a smoother, more rewarding trip. What mistake do you think is most important to avoid? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this travel guide. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hafid Tours and travel for more helpful tips and amazing travel experiences. See you in the next adventure.